Yeah, you should listen to it. It's his best song.
His best song is a song that isn't his.
Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Filipino Freethinkers podcast that's also a video. I'm Red,
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Dahlia.
and today we're talking about Grace Poe, the candidate. What can we say about her? Grace Poe? Like she is cleared, right?
Yes.
She can run for president.
Yes.
Like that
Court,
matter has been settled,
Yeah.
for better or worse. Supreme Court itself has made their decision, and she can run, and you can vote for her. She's on the ballot. What do you think about her? First impressions? I mean, your impression of Grace Poe.
She's, of all the candidates, the most inoffensive.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What about you?
I think she's the most neutral. She's inoffensive, and she doesn't really incite a lot of strong feelings, not the way the other candidates do.
Mm-hmm.
And her fan base is a lot more quiet than the rest of the people.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with both of you. That's a fair assessment. I think like she doesn't really have any controversial stands. I mean, apart from her status as a Filipino,
Yeah.
and her having stayed here enough to qualify for running as a candidate. Like that's probably the most controversial thing about her.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing. I mean, that's the only thing that people can throw at you. Okay, maybe her lack of experience. People also trumpet that. Like they mock her by saying, what, MTRCB is what you're proud of, Like to be
But
fair.
There are also allegations that
Yeah.
she's in the pockets of some
Okay.
Yes.
Landing.
very, very, yes.
Yeah, allegedly.
If we're
Landing.
naming names.
The
allegedly.
Coco Levy Fund
Yeah.
has been...
Everyone knows
yeah.
about Landing
Yeah.
Coangco backing her.
Okay, so for a particular part of the people who criticize her, that's their main beef.
Yes.
You're still part of the oligarchy, maybe not as much as Mar Rojas is, but you've shown that you're already part of it. And
Yeah.
before that, my impression of her, I was very impressed by her showing at the debate.
Yeah.
Yes.
The way she answered the questions, I gave it to her. People say that, well, the same guy who teaches kids, coached her for that. She prepared so much. Well, what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
It's a debate. You're supposed to prepare,
Yes.
and she did come well prepared. The answers that she gave were rehearsed, right? Like she understood it. Maybe not as off the cuff as Mars answer seemed, but she showed that she understood the issues that she prepared for. At times she was flustered and she didn't do as well on those. But it just shows that she can perform. And what is the job of a politician? To perform. Right? At the previous podcast, the one about Mar, the 101st episode, we talked about how being the president isn't a closed book exam where you're supposed to know everything inside out, like the back of your hand, economics, politics, and all of these things, international relations. You can ask your advisors, your cabinet, like other experts, and you can summarize everything that they tell you, and that's what you say. And this is a good indication to me, at least, that she can learn from people who talk to her.
Yeah.
She is coachable.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's important. So now let's focus first on the positives, then let's go to the negatives. What are the positive things about the candidate Grace Poe?
Going back to the debate, I especially like the exchange between Grace Poe and Mar Rojas about the Coco Levy Fund. It's not the way she answered or her argument,
Yeah.
but the fact that because her reason for opposing opposing Mar Rojas on the Coco Levy Fund issue was because she wanted the release of the money to go through the legislative
process, yeah.
and not through the executive.
Okay.
And I think that she showed that she values the power of the legislative enough to not do executive shortcuts.
Okay.
So I like that about her.
Yeah. Like the balance
Yeah.
of powers,
Yeah.
these are co-equal
Yes.
branches here.
Checks
Like
and balances.
the way things have gone so far, especially back then when we had the lump sum, the PDAF, it's the president who gets to order around the Supreme Court and the Congress.
Yeah.
And by saying that, she respects the power of the legislative. Yeah, and she doesn't say, if you disagree with me,
Yeah.
I will kill all
Yeah.
or I will close this
Maybe-
branch of government.
Maybe this is setting a low bar, but I like that level of nuance was
Yes,
there.
that's true.
That there
Okay.
is actually this, no, I won't do this, no, I won't do that. Well, what if it wasn't your choice? What if it was a choice of, duly elected legislators by the people?
Okay, and go through the process.
Yeah.
I mean, she went through the process herself. You know,
Yes.
COMELEC disqualified
Yeah.
her, the TRO of the Supreme Court, and then finally the
Yeah.
decision. That we do have processes in place.
Yeah.
If you want to change those, go through the legislative.
And no calls for revolution or for people power or whatnot.
Okay, and that's valuable to some. What do you think are the valuable things about?
For Grace
The
Poe,
candidate.
I do like that she's neutral enough about a lot of issues that she seems to be at least open to discussion on them. And I like that she acknowledges that there are other people who are more intelligent than her, and she respects their opinions enough to not be so adamant about her stances. Like how when I assume she found value in Duterte's stance on crime, so
Yeah.
she said that he would be her crime czar,
Yeah.
and she realized, no, this person is a
Horrible.
misogynist, and then she said, no, actually, I don't like him anymore because of that rape thing.
Okay, she can change her mind.
Yes, she can
doesn't-
change her mind, and she does it in a respectful enough way that I think isn't so
In a
terrible.
diplomatic
in a diplomatic way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's important too. To me, Grace Poe, I agree with what you said. She learns.
Yeah.
You know, she is coachable. You can convince her. Like compared with, let's say, Mar Rojas and Duterte, when they got into that ugly
Yeah, that's
exchange
nice.
of words, I don't think she's the kind of person to get into that. You know,
And she
because
hasn't been.
I mean,
Yeah.
compared to Miriam, Miriam's smart and all that, but she could get into that kind of thing as well. You know,
Yes.
those undiplomatic exchanges. Binay has been more a statesman, to be
Yeah.
fair to him. He hasn't been that kind. But of all of these, I think Grace Poe is the most diplomatic of
And
all
when
of
it
them.
comes to Miriam, by the way,
Yeah.
she has shown through various issues in her long career in politics that she can also be partisan, and she can also play the politics game.
And she heckles.
And
She does heckle. I mean, that's one problem that I had with Mar and Duterte in most of the debates. They did heckle each other for most of their time on stage, and that wasted a lot of time, which
Yeah.
Miriam has been shown to do in Senate also.
Yeah, okay. Grace Poe, I mean, out of all the candidates, you know, if I could pick one to send to the UN and to be the Filipino there,
Yeah.
I would pick Grace Poe. I mean, let's not even consider the platforms, you know, how they would run the country. Let's not even consider that. But representation of the Philippines to an international body is one of the functions of a
Yes.
president. And I think I would be most proud of someone like Grace Poe there. I mean, not only proud, but I would be confident. You know,
Yes.
my
And
mind would be
comfortable.
at ease that they wouldn't say or do anything or act in a way that would embarrass us
Or would be
unnecessarily. So positives. What are the negatives?
of course, her inexperience.
Okay.
Relative to all the other candidates, she
Yeah.
has the shortest career.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Has she even passed a lot of laws? Did she?
I mean, the thing is, it's easy enough to sign on to
Yes.
the laws. I mean,
Yeah.
but being the author and the principal sponsor, that's another thing. And I don't know. Again, this podcast isn't meant to be the go-to, the comprehensive, be-all, end-all for all of you guys. We trust that you will
Do your own research.
do your own research as well, right? Negatives for you.
Negatives, I think it is also her diplomacy and her being so nice. That's her downfall, because she it's worrying to put her in a position of power, because she might be swayed by the very charismatic people who are around her. She might be swayed by Danding Kuangko. She might be swayed by these people who are surrounding her simply because she looks like she could win.
Okay.
And that's worrying to me, because she hasn't been very. I don't feel like she's a strong enough personality
Not
to
a-
hold her
okay,
own.
so
she's
her-
not a Miriam.
Her positive can also be her negative.
Yes,
She's
yes.
not the kind of put your foot down person
Yes.
and be decisive.
Yes.
Decisive. She's not okay.
Not that I don't think that she has any strong opinions, but it's worrying that. I mean, everyone has strong opinions.
Yeah.
There are some things that you hold deep in your heart that you
Yeah.
will never compromise on.
Yeah.
But we have never seen what these are in
Yeah.
Grace Poe.
That's
She's never
true.
come
She
out
hasn't
strongly
risked
against
anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't know really which values she holds deep in her heart of hearts. which
Okay,
is-
we do not know yet.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
So that's I mean, to be fair to someone like Duterte,
Yeah, we
We
know
know
his
what-
stance.
it's
Yeah.
it's all out there. You
Yeah.
know, he's here's my dirty laundry. If you don't like it,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
We're assuming that that's already his dirty laundry, though.
That's what you're
Yeah.
assuming, right?
Right,
Okay,
right.
so
He
Poe
might
is
be hiding horrible things.
yeah, Poe seems to have the cleanest slate.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a positive and also a negative. Okay, to me, the negative is I agree being part of the oligarchy. You know that
Kind of.
the defending the Coco Levy Fund. I mean, there's a conflict of interest there, and that's I think problematic. Definitely, the way she got to become a candidate itself, I had an
Yeah,
issue with that.
questionable.
I mean, to me, it was so easy. You know, just checking like how long have you been in the country?
Yeah.
You know that's the easiest thing, and I don't think she should have been allowed to run. But that's not.
Yeah,
We're not
Supreme
even
Court
arguing about that
can't question it.
anymore. I mean, by the same merit, maybe Duterte should have been disqualified because it was also a technicality, right? But if we're arguing that the Filipino people want these people to run and want a chance to vote for them, then okay.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about them, so that's a negative for me, but not even an issue anymore. Now, interesting stuff. Okay, to me, interesting is the possibility that we could have a Grace Poe and a Lenny Robredo in the president and vice president
What is
slots.
what is this like?
It's-
Poe Bredo?
Pobredo.
Pobredo.
I don't know if that's a thing, but that's
I've heard it.
what I call it. It's fine. I mean, but like I mentioned, Poro. Poros are cute. Check out a picture. Poro, right?
I've seen
I mean,
them
Roro
just
seems,
now.
like it's
Yeah, they're really
it's
cute.
noble. You're rowing and rowing, row your vote, that kind of thing. But Poros are cute.
Oh my god.
Right? And yeah, League of Legends fans, and I know there are many of you. Poro 2016. No, but in seriousness though, there is a special significance to me of there being
Two women
in
in the two
the top
highest
two highest
offices
positions of
in
the country.
Yes.
Right? We already have a track record of women leaders.
Yes, we've
and
had two female presidents.
there's room for more.
Yes.
I think that it would be good for women's rights, RH and all that, divorce, maybe those things. And as a counterpoint,
Maybe. Do we even know
Considering that
things?
she's against divorce.
I mean, yeah, I know. But again, she's
She could be persuaded,
changeable.
right?
I think she's
Through
persuadable.
of grassroots
Of
Right,
movements.
and
yeah, sure.
we
Like
have
how
to-
she used to be for same-sex marriage,
Yeah.
now she's not.
Oh,
And
yeah,
she
yeah,
used to be
I'm-
against death
I'm
penalty,
against
and
her
now she's
stance
not.
on death penalty.
Yes, me too.
By the way, just to
Yeah.
throw that in there,
Yeah.
that's a very important thing to me.
Yes.
When she said that she would make Duterte the crime czar, I mean,
That was off from me also, considering his track record.
considering his statements on summary execution as a
Extrajudicial
solution to crime
killings, yes.
and poverty, I was against her when she did
Yes.
that as well. So getting back to the symbolism, the special symbolism, have two women on the top two slots of the country. It's just a counterpoint to someone like Duterte having no regard or showing little regard when he made the statements about women, about these women's rights groups,
Yeah.
and them going to hell when they just ask for their rights to be recognized.
Yes.
And then having two women at the top two slots, I mean, that
Yeah.
would just be kind of like poetic justice, So
Yes.
that's an
Yes.
interesting angle for me to think about.
I would find it interesting that if Grace Poe were to win, she would be the first woman president of the Philippines who didn't get to that position through
To be actually elected, right?
to be actually elected through. I mean, not get to be president because
In
of
the
an
usual
unstable
way.
government.
Yeah, in the usual way, in the usual
Yeah,
exercise.
which should be more symbolic than, for example, yung kay Cory and kay Gloria.
Yeah.
Because this one is elected. She was chosen. I mean, by a
Those had
minority.
Technically, Gloria was elected the second
technically
time.
it's still
Okay,
in the
technically-
process, right?
oh, yeah, she was elected.
Yeah.
That's why she was in power for almost 10
Yeah.
years.
Oh,
yes, she
albeit-
was elected.
albeit-
Yes,
I forgot.
There was,
Contested,
there
right?
was Hello Garcia. There were a
Sorry.
lot of issues
Yeah.
with her
Yeah.
with her election, but
Okay,
she was
yeah.
technically elected, and it was technically a stable government under her
Yes.
at the time.
Okay, let's give that to her. Let's give
Okay.
that to GMA. What do you
Yes.
think are the interesting things
About Grace.
about a Grace presidency?
A Grace presidency. Yeah, I do like the thing with Poe and and Robredo in power, it would send a great signal. But I worry that it will make people assume that women are treated better here than they really are.
Yeah,
Because a lot
okay.
of people are already saying that the equality in the Philippines is good. I acknowledge that it's better than most places, but I don't think we're good.
Yeah,
It's
we
that
have a long
everyone
way
else
to
is
go.
more terrible.
Yeah, we have a long way to go, definitely.
And I think this might ease relations with the countries that Duterte has already offended.
Yes.
Because there are,
Oh, God.
if you've seen, there are news channels
Yeah.
in Australia saying, rip up your tickets to the Philippines. Don't go there.
I saw that one. Yeah.
Right? I saw that.
Okay.
And if we elect two women into presidency and vice presidency, I think that would show that we aren't condoning the rape jokes that Duterte mentioned, and we are respecting our women more than they might think.
And it would be
Yeah.
very compatible
Yes.
with the US. I mean,
Because she
you know,
was American.
And Hillary Clinton, another American
yes,
woman, is
yes.
leading.
But then again, Hillary might be annoyed because now she won't be the first American president.
Ah, okay. Burn. We
First
like to
female
joke.
American president.
We like to joke. Okay, so another
And we'll be
interesting.
gaining like 4 more citizens because her family will only renounce their American citizenship when
Yeah,
she wins the presidency, you know?
Okay,
More
another
Filipinos.
interesting thing about Grace. Okay, they're looking at her as the not Duterte, not
Mar.
not Binay, not Rojas that could win.
Yes.
Because the other one is Miriam, and
But she
sorry
can-
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
she's kind of
We love
not
you.
gonna win, and you know it's admirable
Sorry,
for people who
Yeah.
still vote for her. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
admirable, sure.
Yes.
But yeah, she probably will not win. Poe is the person who can win, and who is not Rojas, Binay,
Binay or-
Duterte, the other
Yes.
more controversial ones, and that's why they're going with Poe, and that's why we're talking about strategic voting now.
Okay, yes.
So what do you think about the existence of strategic voting, the ethics of it? What's your take on that?
I read this article that was supposed to be for the American elections on about people who vote their conscience.
Yeah, the conscience vote
Yes, the
versus
conscience
the
vote versus the
Strategic vote. Okay.
And it makes the
Saw
argument
that.
that people who make the conscience vote are selfish.
Aw,
Because
selfish.
I'm
You're
not saying
selfish.
you're selfish. I'm saying that the article, let me be clear. I'm saying that the article I read about American elections says that voting your conscience would be selfish. This in the context of the Bernie versus Hillary.
Yes.
It's a very polite way of saying you're wrong. You know, you don't call them idiots. You're just selfish. It's okay. Yeah.
Yes, but
Okay.
what's your
So
stance
what
on
do you
it?
think? What do you think?
My stance on it would be they're not necessarily selfish, I guess.
The conscience voters.
Yeah. I just think that they overvalue
Honesty, integrity.
they overvalue I guess integrity.
Yeah. Integrity.
Is that
Sure.
what I call it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
okay.
You
They
know, being
overvalue
true to yourself.
They
You know, what is
overvalue
your
integrity, especially in the context of politics, because honestly, none of these people, even Grace, even I would say, even Robredo, none of these people really, none of these politicians deserve the sort of feeling of integrity that you have in your hearts when you vote.
Right.
I think that the conscience vote would be naive.
naive?
Yes.
Okay, and do we reward naivete, or is it?
I think it's a noble. It's
Noble.
noble to aspire to that.
Yeah.
I think it's noble to say, I want this to be the face of how I interact with people and how I interact
Okay.
with society.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's practical.
Okay.
I think that we should have that when the elections are over and we need to build a society around this administration.
yeah.
I think that's when we have to have these ideals of
Integrity.
integrity.
Yeah.
But before that,
Anything goes. Anything.
anything goes. Okay.
Yeah, I find it interesting, these elections. Like, what is the actual question they're asking on that ballot? Like, who do you think is most fit to lead? Is that
Yeah.
is that really the question? Or, you know, like, how are you gonna cast your bet?
Yeah.
You know, what are the odds, like, for you to get the biggest prize? Or is the question, like, and be honest, like, who do you think is best fit to run this country? And, you know, if you're the integrity voter, the conscience voter, that's the question that you think is being asked by these ballots. If you're the strategic voter, it's more than that. Like, how are you gonna throw your ballots? I mean, your bets. Who are you backing here?
And of course, there's
in this
also
exercise?
there's
Yeah.
also the bro voter. When he
Bro.
looks at the,
Yeah.
when he looks at the ballot, he says, who would you rather have a beer with?
Oh,
I
okay.
have encountered people who are like that.
Okay, and who would you rather go to the parlor with? If you're that kind of.
I guess.
Is there such a thing even? Anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If there weren't candidates who were possibly going to win, who were terrible, then I'd be fine with people voting for who they wanted to win. I think the conscience vote is fine so long as there's no impending terrible person running.
Isn't
But-
there always one?
If there's no
or
existential
two?
threat to Philippine democracy.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there have been times when it wasn't so bad. I mean, I think even the last elections, when
Okay.
the second placer was Erap, I think that would have been tolerable because he's been president before. He didn't do that much. It wasn't that terrible in the 2 years he was here.
Okay.
I think.
The wetting allegation. I
Yes.
mean, he was thrown out for the wetting
yeah.
charge.
So
I mean,
and
that's-
we see so he didn't do that much when he was in power, and we've shown that we can throw him out. So
Okay.
I think I would have been okay with conscience voting for that elections. But this time, I think it's not okay simply because I find Duterte deplorable, which we can discuss next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
That's for you, by
That's
the way.
for next
That's your take on Duterte.
Yes.
I mean, other people
Yes,
they
that's my
think
personal take on
that
him.
Mar Rojas is disgusting, and
Yes.
they would be applying the same logic.
Yeah.
Anyone but Mar, after his,
Yeah.
the way he's handled so many things in the country. Anyone but Mar is their chorus, and and for B-Night too, they could sing that.
Yeah,
I don't
and-
think
and
there's
for
anyone
Night.
singing that for Poe or Miriam though.
Yeah.
So again,
Yeah.
these three guys are, I think, the most
But I
contested.
think,
and,
given
yeah.
how our elections are running, I think we're voting the wrong way. I think our voting system is wrong. We shouldn't be
Okay.
That
voting
is
for
true.
the person we want to win. We should be casting negative votes.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
and you should be allowed to shade in however many you want
How
to shade
horrible.
in, right? Like,
Yeah.
I hate all of the candidates. I will shade them all in. They all get a negative one
Yeah.
from me.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm fine with Miriam or Poe winning. I'm not fine with any of the boys. I will shade in Duterte, Binay, and Rojas because I don't want them to win.
Can you
So
have,
if
a quote
enough people do not want them to lead
Yeah.
you, because
Then you
by default that's already happening, right?
Yeah,
It happened
yeah.
with Pinoy.
Yes.
Like more people in the country did not want Pinoy to lead them,
Yes.
but he won anyway, and that's
Yeah.
gonna happen again and again and again because there are a lot of alternative ways that are better. Like for
So
one thing,
many.
the runoff would be better and I mean, I think people would argue that it would cost a lot of money and resources to do something like a runoff. But that's better than what we have now, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and that kind of voting where you could vote so that someone does not win.
Yeah,
And then
I
you
would want to propose
you
a
factor
modification.
all of that, yeah.
You have like 10 negative votes and you can partition them as much as you want. So you can go 5 negative votes for this candidate, 3
That's
for
true.
this.
That's very true.
Yeah, many interesting ways, but the way things have been going have been okay enough for the people in power. And that's, I think, at the end of the day, that's
Yeah.
all that matters. If it's working for them,
That's
then,
why we still have PDAF at the end of the day.
then that's fine. Are you voting for Grace Poe, for Poro? If you are, if you're not, share this anyway. Like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. We will be talking about this, the candidates, and so many other things at the meetup. Check out our website and social media sites for that. On behalf of Talia and Jessica and Garrick and the analyst desk and our millions of staff members, see you next week.